Thanks for watching. If you're on our blog, don't forget to click the top bar where there's a link so you can download the ebook of the month. And if you're watching us on YouTube, click the description. There's a link there as well. Enjoy! Hi everybody and welcome to the Big Idea of the Week. I'm June Brockmeyer here with Rebecca and Sprynczynatyk. And last week Rebecca was here telling us a little bit about market research and why it's important to use it for your business. We went over a little bit of the differences and then talked about asking the right questions, and that's what we want to get down today.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us again. And well, this is a topic that may be a little lengthier than we think. It's not just about how and why and fill in the blank. It can be a lot more specific and get you the better results that you need for your small business. So we're going to talk about asking the right questions with these 5 or 6 types, starting with the question type A or B. How do you define that?
An A or B question is the most basic type of survey question you can ask.
Okay.
There are 2 possible responses, yes or no, male or female, A or B. It's just a very simple, direct question that's quick to answer. These are great for survey questions because they're fast to answer and they're very easy to analyze.
Okay, so you move on to the next question, A or B, yes or no. We've
Right.
got that one, perfect. Then we've seen multiple choice, but then there's one type that has a little radio button, and then the multiple choice that has options or check boxes. You can select multiple or not. You know, what are the differences?
So the best way to think about it is a multiple choice with a radio button, which is this circle, only allows someone to select one option. So you would
Okay.
say, which of the following is your favorite color? A multiple choice with the checkbox allows people to select multiple options. So we could say, which of the following movies have you seen? And you could check each box. The difference primarily, it doesn't differ much from the perspective of the person taking the survey.
Okay.
But when you're analyzing the results, it's very different.
Yeah.
When people only have one choice, you can create a pie chart and compare the differences between people's favorite colors. When you're looking at a checkbox where people can select multiple things, you want to analyze it in a different way and compare the frequency of responses. So it's much more like a bar chart or a line graph.
That sounds, see, and I would have never thought about that, because when you're selecting one option, you almost have to limit yourself to think too much into it, and you just go, okay, I'm just picking purple and that's it.
Exactly.
So that's good to know. Now also we have the type of question called an interval scale. That one, I don't think I've heard of the name per se, but we may know what it is. Can you explain that one too, Rebecca?
Yes.
Okay.
Again, it's a complicated name for a very simple question that you're, I'm sure, very familiar with.
Okay.
It's basically, on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your satisfaction? So this is one that can get really tricky, though, and it could get away from you. My bank called me yesterday, and they asked me a lot of these questions, and theirs was on a scale of 1 to 10. That becomes cognitively difficult to answer because they say, you know, how would you rate your satisfaction with online banking on a scale of 1 to 10? Well, for me, there is no difference between a 6 and an 8. It's just, I feel positive about it. So I suggest that if you're going to use a scale, limit it to 1 to 5 or 1 to 7. But always remember to have an odd number of options so that there's a neutral in the middle.
And that way, if you're not sure, you're still answering, you're getting feedback from them, but they don't have to go one way or the other.
Correct.
Well, that's great to know. What about the ranking scale? Is that the same as on a scale of 1 to 10?
No, it's a little different. So what a ranking scale allows you to do is sort things in order of preference. So this is really popular for, let's say you have a restaurant and you want to add a new item to the menu. You could say, which of the following, rate these in order of preference. We use this for InfusionCon planning a lot. We'll have a list of potential speakers and we'll say, who are you most interested in seeing? And then they'll rate them 1 through 5. And what that allows us to do is find the most popular across the board and the least popular.
That's great. I've seen those all over the place. I mean, even on social media, you see those kinds of scales.
Absolutely.
And what about that open-ended, fill-in-the-blank, other text box that we see that sometimes we want to avoid if it doesn't have a little star on it?
Yes. This is far and away the least, I would recommend this the least, for 2 reasons. One, just like you said, it's hard to answer. It takes a lot of work to think about what I'm going to type in that box, and typically people will skip it if they have the option. But more than that, it's really hard to analyze.
Yeah.
We did a survey in February. We had over 1,000 responses, and we had 2 open-ended questions. And I had to go through a spreadsheet and read every single response and categorize it into a group and try to figure out how to analyze it. And it's very difficult.
Yeah, so this is important for you as a small business owner to be able to analyze the results easily and get accurate information, and also for the consumer or your customer to be able to answer it quickly, and then it's a win-win situation. And when we told you that this was going to be a topic that we'd talk about for the entire month of June, which is great because it's my month and I love it. So we're going to have Rebecca back next week and the week after, and we're going to talk about multiple things, starting with what to avoid and how to ask those questions. That's coming up next week on the Big Idea of the Week. And again, if you want to contact us, you can go to bigideasblog.infusionsoft.com or on Twitter at bigideasblog.
And at Rebecca Spry.
Exactly. And again, let us know what you want to hear from us. We have an ebook and a webinar coming up. You can find the information if you're watching us on YouTube on the description box. And if not, we will keep you posted. Just stay close to us on social media. Thank you, Rebecca. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.